Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. My name is Cleo and welcome to another crime video. So before we get to the main topic of this video, I have some updates about Chad Doerman. Chad Doerman was in court June 23 and pleaded not guilty. Really? Which I do find funny because when the cops arrived at his home, he was sitting next to the murder weapon. And not only that, he actually confessed to this whole thing. And now he's saying he's not guilty. If you haven't heard about this monster and his monstrous act, I'm gonna leave the video I did about him in the description down below. I do have more details on the killing, so if you're a bit sensitive, then I suggest you just go forward. The 4-year-old got shot twice in the head in the home. The 7-year-old was the one that managed to flee into the fields but got gunned down from behind and then got a bullet in his head. The 3-year-old he ripped from his mother and shot in the head. Chad's own father has commented on this situation and said that he's very angry at his son, but that this is not his son's nature, and that something must have set him off, or something must have really happened. So according to his father, Chadman is not violent in nature, even though the prosecutors had charged Chadman 2010 for choking his own father, but the charges was later dropped. So his father is really defending his son and asking the people not to badmouth him because he is not violent in nature, even though the neighbors that has lived next to this family and witnessed Chad have seen him abuse his own family. So with that said, with all due respect, Chad's father, up yours. I hope your son gets the death row. There is absolutely no defending this person. I cannot imagine his defense lawyer, if he has any. I cannot imagine that. I can't. The audacity of this man being scared of death when he robbed the lives of his 3 young children. They deserve to live. You don't right now. You don't. That said, I hope the inmates will teach you a lesson. Now to the main subject of this video. Letecia Stauch's trial has now ended, and the former teacher, that is 36-year-old, that was teaching in Colorado Springs, got sentenced to life in prison. He got sentenced for killing her 11-year-old stepson in 2020. He was first reported missing, and 2 months later he was found under a bridge in a suitcase, like 1,000 miles away from his own home. This kid's name is Stauch. In January 27, 2020, Letecia attacked Gannon in his own bedroom. They found blood on his mattress, walls, and floors, and even in Stauch's vehicle. She stabbed him 18 times, punched him in the head, and then shot him in the jaw. Letecia tried to clean up the crime scene and even got her own daughter to go and get supplies. When she first reported him missing that day, she claimed that he went to a friend's home. Over to a friend, I mean, and haven't returned. She claimed that he actually ran away, but she didn't know what the name of the friend was or the location of the house. When the cops came later that day, to search in the house, they found blood on the back of Letecia's own vehicle. Family and friends started a big search for Gannon. Even the community started to search for Gannon with the law enforcement agency. The only one that did not search for Gannon was Letecia herself. Letecia had an interview with Spencer Wilson, January 31st, 2020. In the interview, one of the things she said was everybody needs to come together and stop making false accusations of her due to the fact that she wasn't around and wasn't a part of the search. According to Letecia, she wasn't allowed to help and wasn't allowed to do anything, basically. She said she was denied a lawyer when she did an interview with the cops, and she wasn't allowed to go anywhere. Her constitutional rights were violated. The reason why she wanted a lawyer is because she felt uncomfortable around the cops due to the fact that they were twisting her story or explanations. She also said, as a defense towards the people accusations, that she has been taking care of Gannon for about 2 years when in their own home, when his own biological mother didn't want to. She would never hurt Gannon, according to herself. In this interview, she kind of painted herself as a victim and got treated unfairly by everyone. She also said that Gannon was alive, and when they do find him, that she deserves an apology from everyone. Letecia explained that Gannon was such a loving child and that she just wants him to come home. The interview itself, it was really bizarre. After I've seen a bit of the trial, I have to say she's completely soulless. And the way she instructed her own daughter to speak in this interview is a bit off to me. Her story also changes a lot throughout this investigation, and every story painted her as a victim. Her stories are a little bit bizarre. I'm going to try and explain them as good as possible. She claimed that he got kidnapped, she got assaulted, or she got assaulted, he got kidnapped, then the sister came home while she got assaulted, but she greeted her at the front door and told her to go outside and play. The story changes and the stories gets more crazier. And the stories and her explanations were so bad, she kind of set her up in a way, because in some situation only she could know certain things, and people are not dumb. So why did she kill Gannon? Letecia did a lot of crazy Google search that could actually explain why she did what she did. So why did she kill Gannon? Letecia did a lot of crazy Google search. So from that I've analyzed it, and this is what I think. I don't think she was happy with her caretaker role, caretaker towards Gannon and his sister, so she kind of resented it. She also resented their father's absence. Gannon's father wasn't away because he wanted to, he was on military training. Also resented Gannon's mother because Letecia felt like she was doing all the work. 2 searches she did after the murder was, I'm here taking care of my 2 stepkids and their mother doesn't help. The other one was, someday they will wish they treated you differently. She was also searching, find real military singles. So from these searches, I feel like she was fed up by the relationship and having to take care of the stepkids. Months leading to the murder, Letecia's behavior towards Gannon became increasingly abusive, physical and emotional abuse. Later on, the investigators found more disturbing Google searches that she actually deleted that they felt were connected to Gannon. One of the searches was, blood is sprouting from an arterial bleed, direct pressure not controlling. She, of course, acted stupid and clueless towards this search. They found more Google searches that kind of indicated that she was really panicking over what she did. I'm going to read a few of them. Hiding IP address. Need a fake ID legit. Face transplant or plastic surgery. What do they do when they find a body in another state? Well, they change the killer, of course. How do they identify bodies found in another state? And much, much more absurd Google searches. It was like she in Google was a couple of crime, or what I say, bodies in crime. It was really absurd. The trial. So I saw the first trial, and then I saw a couple of hours of the others. So I haven't really been following the whole thing through. So the first trial is the open statements. So they're basically going to show what they're going to bring up throughout this trial. I have to say that Gannon was really blessed with these lawyers. They were excellent. And I feel like what they had was really strong evidence. And basically the only thing missing was a video of her in the act. That was pretty much the only thing missing. The prosecutors were mentioned that Gannon suffered some burn wounds in January, and there was actually a recording between Gannon and Letecia where he was crying in pain and that she shushed him and put the blame all on him.
Two, I just don't know what to do.
Well, devastating. Initially, Scott, I can't lie, when the TMZ information.
Gannon, I promise this is the last time I'm gonna ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose? Okay, we promise. You promise. Pinky promise. Okay, all right, so listen. We're gonna have to sell stuff to fix it, okay? So we figure out what we gotta sell. We can sell the sofa, we can sell whatever, because we gotta get it fixed. So lady, don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay? You got it? You got it?
I'm just worried about my friend.
Okay, shh, listen. So tomorrow,
The prosecutors did play this video of Gannon crying and Letecia literally not giving a damn. They showed exhibits of the bedroom where Gannon got murdered. Also, the doctors that were working on the autopsy. And it showed that he was trying to defend himself. They showed what items had Gannon's blood on it. They also showed that the supplies she used for cleaning the crime scene also had his blood on it. They also found Gannon's blood on her shoes. They also saw where she was driving with Gannon's body in the truck when leaving home. The car itself was a rental. Saw which hotel she rented or stayed over. And they showed a lot of activities before she dumped Gannon's body over the bridge. There was a worker that checked if the bridge was safe, and he found the suitcase with Gannon's body, blanket, and pillow inside. January 27, Letecia took a picture of Gannon laying in bed with that exact blanket and exact pillow, and she sent that picture to his father that was on military training. Of course, the prosecutors mentions that her story always changes. What they wanted to paint towards the jury is that these actions, cleaning up the crime scene, the activities before dumping his body over the bridge, all the activities she did before leaving Gannon is not a activity of somebody who doesn't understand what they're doing. This is actions from somebody who knew they did wrong and are going to get consequences for it. All of this, what she did after the murder, is nothing that could have been done from a person that just blacked out. When you do see and hear the prosecutors, you're going to think, how on earth are the defense lawyers going to defend this monster? Well, kind of shocked me. I have never seen anything quite like it. I mean, the defense lawyers' behavior, I have to say. He started by saying that people was building opinions towards Letecia without seeing a single evidence. That people are saying that playing the insanity card it's a way to get away from responsibility. It's an excuse. It doesn't exist. Just his whole behavior while talking to the jury and everyone, the judge, was a bit odd for me. I'm gonna show you a video and then I'm gonna explain what I mean, what I feel.
It was an awful, awful thing that was done to Gannon. And I see Mr. Allen get up here and he's emotional, almost into tears talking about it. And I get it. I get it. What happened to that little 11-year-old boy is beyond description. The facts of this case, awful. You know, it's so bad. This is a lost cause. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't quit. I can't leave this courtroom. Got to do my job in this case. Mr. Toledo does. I can't just, after that opening statement, all the information that I've seen, the photos, the smiling picture of Gannon, hearing about him being shot and stabbed multiple times, hundreds of witnesses, and 800 pieces of evidence that are going to come in. I can't check out now and just sit down and write this out. I can't do it because it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to the court system, the process, and it wouldn't be fair to Ms. Stauch. And I know people will say, well, who gives a shit about what's fair for Ms. Stauch? The court systems do. The law does. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights. The war fought over these things that we're dealing with today. Old school laws, the presumption of innocence, right to remain silent, stuff that comes all the way back from old Boston and Paul Revere riding through the streets on his horse going, the British are coming, the British are coming. Old stuff, and it matters. And once we decide something in the media, before you have heard one shred of evidence, prejudge this case before anything has taken place, then all of that is lost. And we are truly a country that is no longer ruled by law, but by the media. I get it. We've lost. Mr. Toledo, we lost. Stout, we lost. We have lost in the court of public opinion and the media. He's guilty. I get that. This is a court of law. As Judge Werner said, come through those double doors there. This is a special place. This isn't the media. This isn't Facebook. Wash all of that away. Don't try to get up and walk out of the courtroom before you've started. Do your jobs. Listen to the evidence. When the evidence is complete, go back into the jury room and weigh the evidence. All I'm asking of you, just give us a fair shake. I can see it in your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of you, as far as you're concerned, I could burn in hell for representing Miss Stauch. A lot of you won't even make eye contact with me. I might as well just be the devil himself up here running his mouth. But I'm not. No different than those three at that table right there. Paid advocates. Werner during voir dire says they are paid advocates. Leanie and I, we're paid advocates. They have their side of the story. And I just want to be heard. Want our side to be heard. How do you figure that out? How do you look into the mind of a sick person and divine what they are thinking? Well, evidence, people's statements, observations, recorded statements, phone call, heard Miss Stout talking on. That's good stuff. What else can you look at? Motive. Say there's a couple people involved in a shooting and a murder out in the community. Paper reports it as a random, senseless act of violence. One person shot to death. Police investigate. They have 3 people that are suspects that were there at the scene at the time of the shooting. One problem for the investigators. Don't really have any other evidence. A week later, doing some good police work, they uncovered that one of the 3 people was a drug dealer who was ripped off the week before the shooting by the dead man. A lot of money and drugs were stolen. All of a sudden, with that information, this random, senseless act of violence becomes a murder with a motive. All right, we've got a photo here. We've got some familiar looking faces. Gannon, Letecia Stauch. Stepmom, stepson. Gannon's little sister in the back. Look at that. Looks like everybody's doing pretty good. Happy, sunny day. Maybe Miss Stauch is doing a selfie holding the camera out. Remember. When would have this photo been taken? The day before Gannon died. The day before he was killed. It wasn't a photo of evil, anger. The photo of someone, by all accounts, who was a loving stepmother, care of Gannon. Gannon's father was on a deployment. Stauch worked as a teacher herself in the Whitefield School District, an elementary school teacher. Got a person that was, living, would seem like the American dream in a nice suburban house in Morrison Ranch, suburbs of Colorado Springs, Colorado. But behind those photos and Miles, Stauch. Oh, you.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Stauch was hiding. Stauch was dealing trauma and abuse that had been going on since she was a toddler.
The way he spoke and the way he was going towards the door, it was like he was performing. I have never seen anything quite like it, but I mean, it's probably not the first time a defense lawyer is acting out. And then in a way, he started to say, I'm not the monster. I'm here doing my job, and I am here, and I have the right to do my job as a defense lawyer because the law supports it. So even if she is guilty, I have the right to do my job. So see this thing through before making opinions by what y'all heard on the media. And according to him, she has the right to be proven insane and not be looked as a monster. Okay, so from what I understand it, he compared this situation with a shooter that obviously shot people because he got robbed out of drugs and money. That was a motive. Letecia's childhood abuse is a motive and a reason for insanity. And this is what I said, all of it is according to him. So his whole open statement was basically teaching us about the history of law, that he deserves to do his job. He's not a monster because of it. And that we shouldn't form any opinions that we hear from the media before we see proofs and evidence. When I hear that a mother has killed her child, even if it's not her biological child, and is getting out of her way to clean the murder scene and making up a lot of stories just to get away from consequences, and on top of that showing absolutely no feelings, showing complete, just being soulless, that is going to make me form an opinion also after what we, people from the media or people that looked at the media, is seeing as strong evidence. So as much as this lawyer has the right to defend and do his job, we have the absolutely right to form an opinion of this evil act. Like the fact that he took it back to history, law and crime in history, to educate us. It's like, sir, please, yes, you have all the right to be there and do your job and defend this demon. You have all the right, but so do we. Yes, when you listen to his open statement, you will think, well, he knows he's screwed. He knows he has nothing to bring to the table. He knows he will lose. What is there to say? Everybody knows she did it. It's terrible. The kid was 11 and very loved. How do you defend this? So, in a way, I understand that he's dragging it out and just jabbering what could he do? Like, what can he do? But there are certain behaviors that are distasteful to have in courtroom, and definitely when it's about an 11-year-old's death. We had psychiatrists, doctors, witnesses, and GPS and Google search evidence. So the psychiatrists declared her not insane. What I meant with some behaviors should not take place in a courtroom, I meant that this lawyer was too close to Letecia. They were actually sitting so close to each other and they were laughing. This woman also flipped the bird to the witnesses.
And the 2 sticker scales that were on the garage floor were close to those 2x4s that were previously mentioned.
384.
People's Exhibit 384 is now a close-up photograph of the possible blood stains identified using placard B.
Our positive reaction photograph after the bag had been removed.
457.
We've rotated slightly to the east. This is a photograph of the southeast corner of the garage.
Letecia Stauch was found guilty on all counts, including first-degree murder, murder of a child under 12 by a person in a position of trust, tampering with physical evidence, and tampering with a deceased human being. I am happy for Gannon's family and for Gannon for having such excellent lawyers. These are my last words. This person makes me sick to my stomach, and it's because she has absolutely no remorse for what she did. She talked a lot of crap, and she knew she was doomed. She is no one that should be near other people. She's no one that should ever see the light of day again. I'm not the one to want to throw death penalty just like that, but like I said before in other videos, when it comes to killing children, then why are we sparing him death penalty? Why do we need him? Is it because it's inhumane? No, I mean, it's nothing humane about killing a child. So I don't really understand it. I pretty much knew that she wasn't going to get the death penalty. I don't know what happens to women in prison. I don't know what happens to women that kill children in prison around other women, because I don't hear so much about it. I only hear about men. So I don't know. I hope she suffers. I really do. And I hope Gannon's family and friends heals. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe today for more. Take care. Bye bye.